Hi guys, it's Mrs. Alberts here and welcome back to my channel.
Okay, FIELA se kind, Bedryf 2, Act 2, Scene 1 from page 67 to 69. This is in the Magistrates Court. We ended Act 1 where FIELA was preparing Benjamin. She was bathing him. She was telling him what to wear, what to say. And now we are in the Magistrate's office. The magistrate here is Mr. Goldsberry. Benjamin is very afraid. He is doing the times table. He's afraid they're going to ask his 9 times table. He's also afraid that they might have forgotten about him and locked the doors. Then the magistrate comes in and he's asking Benjamin all about his background. He keeps asking, do you maybe know whether you had a different name before? Can you remember anything before you arrived in the Lange Kloof? Benjamin keeps on saying no to all the questions, and then finally he says he cannot think when he is so afraid. So here the fear in Benjamin really comes to the foreground, and we see a very merciless government in this case as well, not seeing the fear and not really putting him at ease. Then the magistrate tells Benjamin not to be afraid. He tells the constable to bring in the other 4 boys. There's 4 boys coming in to line up next to Benjamin, and then he quiets them down because they are playing, they are pushing at each other, and then Barta comes in. Now this is a very important scene. Barta comes in the stage directions as in the movie as well. It is evident that she doesn't really take time to look at the children, to really look at them and see their faces. Even though the magistrate said that she needs to take her time, Barta moves up to Benjamin and immediately points to him. The magistrate then asks Benjamin whether he understands what has just happened. Benjamin wants to know, now that the forest woman has seen what she wanted to see, is it now possible for him to go home? The magistrate then says, no, I don't think you really understand. You are the boy that went missing 9 years ago. You are now standing in front of your parents. Now, this is a terrible, terrible moment. I don't think we can actually put ourselves in Benjamin's shoes. But just for a second, I want you to imagine, even now, with some of you being 18 years old, just imagine you get told that this new woman who's standing in front of you, this is your mother. You don't get a chance to speak to the woman who brought you up. You don't have a chance to say goodbye. It's simply, this is your mother and you have to leave with her. I think you'd all be very upset. So this is a terrible moment. Rightfully so, Benjamin starts to kick and against this whole situation. He yells, he says he's FIELA Kamuti's child, Selin Kamuti is his father, he is FIELA's foundling. He says that Barta is lying. He says he's got 5 shillings to show that the Kamutis isn't poor. And this is the begging stage where he is practically begging them to not take him away from FIELA and to give him to the new family. And the magistrate's just not listening. He is flippant about the whole situation. He gets very upset when he hears Benjamin saying baas, because the moment he is very fearful, he drops the wel edele heer section and he starts saying baas again. And he tells him he never wants him to use the word baas ever again. He is a white boy. And in that sentence, ladies and gents, it is evident that the Lange and Dikke and here the magistrate, nobody ever had the goodwill of the child in mind, but they simply had the race in mind. A white boy should not be with a colored family, and regardless whether this is truly his family or not, it is better for him to be with white people. So here the segregation and the utter racism is coming to the foreground. In scene 2, Benjamin is now being called Lucas van Rooyen, and he is on his way to the forest. Elias wants to know if the people in the Lange Kloof was good to him. Elias, on the other hand, has no respect for Lucas's things. He grabs his trunk and he goes through it. Barta wants to know why the child is not speaking, but also mentions that Lucas is a very pretty boy. He's a handsome boy. Now this links to that moment when FIELA was cursing the falcon for grabbing her most pretty chick in the beginning. We said that it was kind of like a symbolism for what is going to happen to Benjamin, since he is her handsome boy. He is the pretty son. And this now links to it, saying again how beautiful Benjamin is. Hy's 'n mooi kind. Lucas then basically fights against the children that are touching him, because Nina's coming up to him. She's physically touching him. He kicks her, he pushes her, he doesn't want her close to him. He is being told to greet his brother and sister. Again, this links with what I said earlier. Imagine that you are taken from your brother and sister, put in a new family, and you just simply need to, it's expected of you just to look at them and say, hi bro, hi sis, how are you, type of situation. They just expect him to be okay with it and to greet his family. Tant Gertjie has sympathy for Lucas. Remember, Tant Gertjie is the realism in the book. She's in the first scene in the exposition section, where she's the one that brings the truth, basically. So she has sympathy for Lucas, and she can see that Elias is not noticing that this child is tired and he's bewildered. Benjamin then goes and he sits by the house and he's eating his sweet potato, and Nina just wants to know why is he just sitting there, and he keeps on saying he's waiting for his mother. Nina then tells him, she warns him that Elias is getting fed up with him now, and this is his last chance to get out of this mood that he is in, and that from the next day Elias is going to start giving him a hiding for what he is saying. Lucas keeps on saying he's not their child, his mother's going to come and fetch him. It shows you that he really trusts FIELA to protect him and take him out of the situation. And then Lucas obviously asks Nina how to get out, or does she know how to get out of the forest? And Nina says that she does know, but it is a long walk. So this is the start of the relationship between Nina and Lucas. Nina wants to show Lucas her secret. So it means that she trusts him enough to show him something that is sacred to her. She says that it's on the way to the road that would lead him out of the forest. Now we know that the secret is bottles that she has stashed away. It doesn't look like a lot, but remember, this family doesn't have a lot. This family really have nothing. They share everything. Everything belongs to everyone. So this is her thing. These bottles also make the sound of birds, and we know that she loves birds, and making, not reenacting, what's the word, but mimicking the sound of birds. Lucas keeps on talking about how he wants to go home. She says that he needs to stop talking about going home, going to the Lange Kloof. Elias is going to beat him until he wets himself. Lucas says that he's got 5 shillings that he would give Nina if she would show him the way out. Nina is very excited, because then she can buy a mondfluitjie, which is a harmonica, and she can buy herself a blanket. And then also she tells Lucas in the scene not to say olifante, but to say grootvoete. Remember, there's the superstition that if you say the word olifante, they will hear you, and then they will come and trample you. This is a beautiful scene where the two gets to know each other. They trust each other. There's a agreement happening here. It's exchange money for information, but it still shows that Lucas trusts Nina, Nina trusts Lucas. Then we go to the front of the forest house with Elias, and they are discussing that Elias wants Lucas to help working on the beams, making the beams, and that way hard labor will get him out of his mood and he will stop talking about Lange Kloof. Barta's just afraid that Elias mustn't hit Lucas, because then if the magistrate comes and checks up on them, they might see that there's bruises on him. So obviously Barta knows that Elias has a heavy hand when it comes to disciplining. And then also Elias here says that he's very impatient. He won't let Lucas's moods determine the way that he's going to discipline his children. And he is also not very happy that Nina and Lucas are in the forest the whole time, and he tells Barta that Nina needs to work in the garden. Then Nina arrives back without Lucas. And what we see here is that he immediately wants to use force to get information out of Nina. He wants to know where's Lucas. Nina says she doesn't know, and she later on says maybe he's run away. And that is when Elias grabs the lantern and the whip, and we know that he is going to go and search for Lucas.
Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you've got any questions, you can follow me on Instagram at Afrikaans Classroom. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos, like and share.